most terrifying stories in American history. On November 13th, 1974, Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family while they slept in their large Dutch colonial house at 112 Ocean Avenue. 6 members of his family, including his 9-year-old sister, were shot dead in the night. The neighborhood awoke to horror, and the house was stained forever with the blood of that horrific night. A little over a year later, in December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz and their 3 children moved into the same house, hoping for a fresh start. They were unaware of the dark history waiting for them inside. What began as a dream home soon turned into a waking nightmare. The very first night, George awoke at 3:15 a.m., the exact time the murders had occurred. The air felt heavy and suffocating, pressing down on him. He sensed a presence in the room, something that was watching, waiting, and breathing with malicious intent. Kathy heard whispers coming from empty hallways, soft at first, but growing louder until it sounded like a chorus of angry voices. The children soon complained of seeing shadowy figures standing at the foot of their beds, watching them with glowing red eyes. Doors slammed, windows rattled, and the temperature in the rooms dropped to an unnatural chill, leaving frost on the floors and walls even in the middle of winter. The family dog refused to enter certain rooms, growling and barking at nothing visible. Strange phenomena escalated quickly. Green slime oozed from walls and ceilings. The floors would creak and groan as if something heavy were walking across them, yet nothing could be seen. Sometimes objects would fly across the room, thrown with violent force. The house itself seemed alive, pulsing with an unseen malevolence. Soon, the terror became physical. George and Kathy woke to invisible hands pressing on their bodies, leaving bruises on their skin. At night, screams echoed from the walls, high-pitched and filled with rage. The children sometimes spoke in voices that were not their own, uttering strange words and phrases they could not possibly know. Shadows twisted and moved across walls, forming human-like shapes with faces contorted in pain and anger. Desperate for answers, the family called in Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators. The Warrens immediately sensed demonic energy in the home. They warned that multiple evil entities were present, feeding off fear and feeding on the house itself. During exorcisms and prayers, the following occurred. The walls shook violently, as if the house itself were alive. Objects flew across rooms with incredible force. Blood appeared on surfaces, forming strange and disturbing patterns. The children screamed in deep, guttural voices, claiming they were being touched and threatened by unseen hands. Shadows darted across rooms independently, forming terrifying, human-like figures. Despite repeated rituals, the evil refused to leave. Nights became unbearable. The family could not sleep without fear of attack. Lights flickered, doors slammed, and the temperature would drop suddenly, freezing their breath. Unseen forces tossed furniture, shattered windows, and knocked objects into walls. The family felt constantly watched, haunted by something that was patient, calculating, and utterly relentless. After 28 days of horror, George, Kathy, and their children finally fled the house in the middle of the night. They left furniture, belongings, and everything they could not carry, driven away by the unseen terror that stalked them relentlessly. Even after leaving, they claimed that they could feel the darkness following them, as if the house itself still wanted them inside, trapped and tormented forever. The story of the Amityville house was published as the Amityville Horror, a true story, and became one of the most famous haunted house accounts in history. It inspired films, documentaries, and books, spreading fear across generations. Skeptics argue about exaggeration, But police reports, hospital records, and the testimonies of the Warrens confirm that real, terrifying events took place in that house. Even today, visitors to the area report cold spots, whispers, and feelings of dread near the house. Animals refuse to enter the yard. People report sudden chills, shadows moving in corners, and the sensation of being watched. The Amityville Horror is not just a story. It is a real place, a real house, and a real warning about the darkness that once lived there. Something evil lived in that house. Something patient, something waiting, something real. This story is not just fiction. Every scream, every shadow, every cold chill is real. Police reports, hospital records, and paranormal investigators confirm that these events actually happened. If you want to hear more real horror stories, stories that will keep you awake at night, stories that are too terrifying to ignore, then you can send your own story or email me. Every story I share is 100% real, verified, and researched. And if you want to experience the fear firsthand, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Here, you'll hear the most horrifying, spine-chilling stories from all over the world. Stories of demons, ghosts, possession, and haunted houses that are more real than you think. Remember, these are not just tales. These are true events, and somewhere, in some house in some dark corner, something evil is still waiting. So, subscribe. If you dare, only the brave can hear the real horrors of the world. Your nightmares may start tonight.